Okay, let's go.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to my channel. Thank you for stopping by. Please hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't already done so. Make sure you hit that notification bell to all so you'll be notified of all the new content that I'm pushing out. And today's another banger. Man, I'm getting sick of it. But I'm trying to expose all these chomos, sex offenders, pedophiles. So, like I was telling you guys before, I open up I look at my phone and I have this news app on my phone. There's always something on there. Or, get on the computer. It's a never ending thing. But I like exposing it so the community needs to know, no matter what community you live in, all the sex offenders out there. And that I talked about this in previous videos. My perspective on this and why and reoffending. These people just keep reoffending or trying to reoffend, and the leniency that they get. Anyways, with that being said, let's get into this news clip and then we'll talk about it a little bit after that.
And now on Just One Station, a convicted sex offender caught stalking a little girl in a Southwest Miami-Dade store. Now he is waking up behind bars.
Senator Daniel Garcia is outside the store where this disturbing incident happened with the exclusive video.
Investigators say this is a child predator in action, with his sights set on a little girl in a Southwest Miami-Dade Home Depot, then waiting outside to follow her in his car. A convicted sex offender would end up in jail days later. The video was captured on July 4th at the Home Depot just off the turnpike near US 1. While in line for the returns, investigators say 60-year-old Kevin Hurley tried to strike up a conversation with a 10-year-old girl who was with her mom and wearing a Disney souvenir, first saying, "I love your Mickey ears." Then, as he was finishing his transaction, the mom says he looked back at the child and said, "I think you are so beautiful." After that, investigators say Hurley wouldn't leave, pacing and keeping an eye on the child and making at least one attempt to get close to them again.
That's crazy. So this piece of shit right here, sex offender, convicted sex offender, is trying to strike up a conversation with a 10-year-old girl right in front of her mom. And as you can see in the video, watching him, stalking him, looking around. That's insane. I'm glad this guy got caught, but this just goes to show you what I've been talking about all the time. Just never know. They never can be fixed. They need to go to firing range all the time. It's never going to stop. Here we go.
The mother, noticing his behavior, asked a store employee to walk them out. According to police, Hurley was waiting in his car right out front, then backing up and following them as they walked through the parking lot, looking up to see Hurley at a stop sign, staring right back at them. Another man spotting a problem and telling Hurley to take off. Hurley is a sex offender with a 2014 conviction for child molestation. He was wearing an ankle monitor that day, and according to the police report, he cannot have unsupervised contact with minors, including...
Okay, I just wanted to touch base on this. Cannot have unsupervised contact with minors, including contact without the supervising adult being aware of his conviction. So, like, this lady didn't know who the hell he was, but she had them vibes and she knew something was not right and she protected her daughter. And I give her props for that, because this guy, obviously, look, he had a 2014 conviction. This is 2024, 10 years, and he's still doing the same shit. All right, let's continue.
Contact without the supervising adult being aware of his conviction. The mother of the 10-year-old girl in this case had no way to know about his past, but did know something just wasn't right. Police would track down and arrest Hurley on July 23rd, charging him with aggravated stalking of a minor. Not only did police use that surveillance video to capture Hurley, but also the mother thought really quickly and snapped a picture of his license plate so that police were able to track him down. Now he remains behind bars. Reporting in Southwest Miami-Dade, I'm Danielle Garcia, today in Florida.
Did you see that? He's got an ankle monitor on. So, like I said, I give props to the citizen that, told him to piss off and get going, and the mother for having an employee walk her out because she just didn't feel like something was right. That was, that's awesome that she's a good mother and she protected her child. You know what I'm saying? That's all I can tell you about that. Because what else can you do? Like, she doesn't know who this guy is. He's got an effing ankle monitor on, dude. And he's a registered sex offender. So let me read this to you. Hold on, let me get this. I'm going to go ahead and take this off. And make myself bigger so we can have a chit chat about this real quick. There we go. All right, guys. So yeah, this is what I've been talking about. So when I was talking about I just did a video on the deputy sheriff in the county that I worked in, 21 years on the job. And he's charged with, he's got 58 total charges. And it has to do with a minor under the age of 13, I want to say. And they let him out on an OR bond on his own recognizances. He didn't have to pay no money, just sign on a paper. And they put him on an ankle monitor. And I talked about the GPS monitor, ankle monitor in that video, because depending on who's supervising him or who's watching him on that ankle monitor, he can go wherever he wants. Is that going to stop him? I mean, if that mom would have turned her head or been not paying attention to this guy, he probably would have snatched her up and took off. You know what I mean? I'm telling you that you don't just wake up one day and say, I'm 50 or 60 years old. I think I like kids. No, it doesn't work that way. They're wired different. That's the way it is. They've been that way the majority of their life, and you can't change it. It's just the way they are. There's no changing it. It's sickening, but it's the truth. So let me read this to you guys. I mean, it's basically the same thing. But there's one thing that I didn't hear him say it, but he is on the ankle monitor. So officers arrested Kevin Hurley, a registered sex offender. Guess what? On probation. After he repeatedly made contact with the child inside the store and then followed her as she walked out to her car. Surveillance video captured on July 4th at the Home Depot located off the turnpike. Investigators said, is Hurley trying to, that doesn't make sense. Is Hurley trying to strike up a conversation with the girl who was with, he was trying to strike up a conversation with the girl who was with her mother and wearing a Disney souvenir. According to the report, Hurley was standing in the line for returns when he initiated the conversation. He complimented the girl's souvenir, saying, I love your Mickey ears. Sick. Then, as he finished his transaction, the girl's mother told officers that Hurley looked back at her daughter and said, I think you're so beautiful. I mean, you just can't make this shit up. And these sex offenders, I'm not going to say all of them that I've dealt with, a lot of them, they're very open and they're not right upstairs. They're not wired right. And if they get an opportunity to do something, they're going to do it and say whatever they say. He's on probation. I don't know when he got out, or if it doesn't say anything about that. I'm going to read on and see if that says anything. But he's on an ankle monitor. So does that stop him from being a sex offender? No. That's what I was trying. I've been trying to get that message out for the longest time, that just because you're a sex offender, getting a GPS monitor, an ankle monitor put on, does not stop you from going to the store and interacting, going places, or having someone come to your place. Because all the ankle monitor does is it does track you, but whoever's in charge of him on probation, who's monitoring his GPS, I don't know if they'll just go check it every. I mean, so you could do several things. You could do interactive. You could put him, can't leave his house arrest. He's only allowed to go to the grocery store here or there at this hour, or he has to call for permission before he goes. And then you physically watch him on the computer, on the program, so that or your phone, so you can watch him in live time to see if he goes anywhere else, or the lazy ones will do it after, maybe the next day or the day after that. They'll be on, check his GPS and see if they check it at all. Some of them don't. They don't even check it. They put it on them and it'll have an alert if, like, say they'll set zones, like school zones and things of that nature. And if they get close to that, the alert will will notify the probation officer right away. But anyways, let's get going. Rather than leaving the store, investigators said the suspect paced around the store and kept an eye on the child. He tried to make at least one more attempt to get close to the child and the mother. The mother noticed his behavior and asked a store employee to walk them out to their car. According to police, Hurley waited in his car outside for the girl to leave. He backed up and began to follow them with his car as they walked through the parking lot. Afraid to go to her vehicle, the mother walked to the edge of the parking lot, and as she turned around, she spotted Hurley at a stop sign straight ahead, staring back at them. A good Samaritan who witnessed what was going on went up to the man and told him to take off. Hurley has a 2014 conviction of child molestation and was wearing an ankle monitor that day. The police report he cannot have they already said all this. Cannot have unsupervised contact with minors, including contact with supervising adult, without the supervising adult being aware of the conviction. While the mother had no way to know about Hurley's past conviction, she knew something was suspicious. She had her spidey senses on. I'll give her that. She was on top of it. And I give her shout outs, man, because she was on it. She was protecting her child, and that's what all parents should be doing. Because you don't know. And that's the sad part, because he shouldn't even be out walking around, because he has a previous conviction of child molestation. Then here he is in the store stalking this little girl and saying things to her, right, in front of her mom. And I'm telling you right now, if he had the opportunity, he probably would have snatched her up, or that might have still happened if the employee wouldn't have been with her. Snatched her up in the parking lot, and he would have took her. It's sad. And you know what? This goes back to my channel and everything I always talk about. Leniency, corruption, or people not doing their damn jobs. Your job is to keep the community safe when this guy's on probation, and making sure that he's, number one, shouldn't even be out. Obviously, you can see by this, is this the first time this has happened since he's been out? Hell, no. It's the first time he got caught. I'm going to tell you that right now. And it's bullshit, and it really pisses me off, because no one is held accountable for that. Nobody's held accountable for that. The probation officer should be held accountable for that. The chief of probation or his boss should be held accountable for that. The judge for letting him out should be accountable for that. You know what I mean? Because guess what? If the probation officer wasn't watching or letting him do whatever the hell he wants to do, or he could have easily snatched up that little girl, and he ain't paying attention to the monitor, then his boss should have got on his ass. And if he didn't do it, the chief didn't get on his ass about it, then you know what I'm saying? It's a domino effect. Then the judge should have. I mean, this is what personal experience. I've experienced this shit. And it's sickening because no one's held accountable. The sad part about it is the community is not aware. The community doesn't know. They don't want the community to know. They don't want the community to know how many people are, say, on probation, felony probation. They don't want everyone to know, or anyone in the community to know, how many sex offenders they have. Even though it's public information, a lot of people still don't know about it. And look, there's several, just like it happened here recently, real close by. This guy tried to kidnap his girlfriend, but he was a prior registered sex offender, and he got away. He was handcuffed. He took off running. The cops didn't catch him. He was on the run for 2 months. 2 months. He finally got caught. But you see what I'm getting at? When they're not watching people and not doing their job, it's a lack of not doing your job and the leniency. Okay, so you want to let these guys out? Okay, and you want me to do my job? Then I'm going to do my job. And you ain't going to like it, but I'm going to do my job. Because that's exactly what I did. I did my damn job, and then I get chastised for it or get babied. They get babied. Oh, they took them off my caseload because I was too mean to them. You know what I mean? And he's a sex offender. Or, well, he wasn't a sex offender then, this guy I'm talking about. But somebody needs to be held accountable for that shit. And if I was the mom, I'd be hitting up that probation department. Pronto. Who's this probation officer? Why weren't you monitoring? Why was he allowed in there? You know? I don't know. Anyways, let's keep going. In addition to the surveillance video, detectives said the mother shared a photo of her license plate, helping them track down the suspect. Good thing. Another good thing. The mom did. She took a picture of his license plate. Good job, Mom. Police took Hurley into custody on July 23rd. He faces a charge of aggravated stalking of a minor. He remains behind bars at the Turner Guilford Knight Correctional Center in West Miami-Dade. And that's it. All right, guys, what do you think? I mean, I get on here and I get pissed, man, when I want to give you these stories and I want to put them out. Man, a lot of them has been close to home where I'm at. But I already know that. I mean, and like I said, are they going to reoffend? Yeah, they are. They need to be taken out to the range, firing range. Be done. They're not going to change. Should they be out walking around loose? GPS monitor or not, I don't give a shit. That ankle monitor ain't going to stop nothing. Especially if nobody's watching it. Oh, I get so pissed about that. Because I've been there and doing my job. And I see this kind of shit and I see the leniency and people not doing their jobs. It just really pisses me off. Anyways, guys, I'm all right. I'm okay. I got some more bangers coming up for you. I'm going to redo that last video I did because I've had some viewers, or I don't even know how they got, if they're subscribers or not, because I put my contact email in my channel description. Ask about what is a probation officer, which I guess some people don't know how to become one and what's the life of a probation officer. And I did do it last night, but it was an hour and 15 minutes. And I don't think I did a great job on it. So I might take that down and redo it in sections. Like, what is a probation officer? I'm going to do that, like quick 10-minute video, because it's pretty easy to break that down. How do I become one? Do another 10-minute video. So it kind of breaks it down in sections for people instead of, I know it's hard to keep an hour watching a video for an hour. I mean, if it's a documentary, and this is just me, I'll sit there for 3 hours. I'll be tired. I'll be so tired. If I get into, I got my phone, I'm laying in bed and I'm looking at my phone, and say I catch a story or a documentary that comes on, say it's on YouTube, and it's 2 hours long. And I'm like, man, it's freaking 2 a.m. I need to get to bed. But this story's good. And I still got another hour and a half on it, or an hour. I'll keep watching it and force myself to stay awake. It's crazy. I mean, because some of this stuff is just amazing. But I really want to get this message out here people aren't getting. I know that, shout out to JD Delay. Check out his channel. I know that he's got a lot of subscribers. He's got a big fan base or subscriber base. He's been to prison. He's what I would call a chomo hunter. He didn't, you know what I mean? He'll put the business on the chomos when he was locked up or when he's not. And he's really against it. I'd like to talk to him sometime because, him and I have a lot in common on this. As you can see by my videos, I'd like to do other videos, but then when I see these videos popping up or these stories popping up on these sex offenders, I want to get it out there to the communities so they know, hey, look, hey, I live in that community. Start looking it up. Get on Megan Law's website. Type in the Google or whatever search you want to search it up. Look for sex offender search and it will come up. And then you can put in your address or in the surrounding area and it's going to show you all the registered sex offenders in your area. Yeah, it will. You'll be surprised. Do that. That's what I'm saying. But trying to get them not to reoffend and victimize a child again. That's the main goal here. And I know there's some groups out there that stomp these chomos out when they find them. And I think that's great. Got to do something. And being aware, the awareness, community awareness, and people getting involved in these sex offenders, and quit electing the same people in the office. Quit electing. Look at the judges. Quit being, oh, well, he's been judged for 10 terms. You know what I mean? No. Start looking at their agenda. Go down and say, it's all public information. I want to know how many people's on probation here. How many sex offenders do you have on probation here? Go do it. It's public information. They have to give it to you. Do some research. Find out. And don't make these judges and people that let them out and then they reoffend. Hold them accountable for it. Hold them accountable. 100%. That's what really pisses me off. They just don't hold anybody. And people elect the same judge over and over, the same sheriff over and over. You know what I mean? It's just, so the same councilmen, the same county commissioners, and they don't change shit. Everything stays the same because they're all friends, and then their friends are the chief or the sheriff, the judge. You know what I mean? Or they don't want to piss nobody off. No, get some people in there like that. The one story I did about the 3 police chiefs, one younger guy that was sitting on the city council. The rest are all older people. I'm old. I'm 55. Older people who probably been in their decades, all agreed. They all voted yes on paying off those chiefs $70,000 a piece and giving them their full retirement rather than investigate. He was the only one that said no. And that goes to show you right there. They need to be term limits on every elected position. 2 term limits, I feel. 2 terms and you're done. No, you can't be elected again. That way you get new fresh blood in there that's not going to be hooked up with these people that they've dealt with for 40 years. They'll be held accountable for their actions, and they won't get reelected, and whatever happens, happens. Anyway, with that, I'm done. Another shout out. Get a hold of me, JD. We're on the same page, brother. Go check out his channel, JD Delay. Have a great day, guys. Peace out. We'll see you on the next one.